Well, hey, everybody. If my New Year's resolution was to be on time all of the time, I'm already messing that up. And how does that make me feel? I'll tell you about that in a minute. Let's talk about New Year's resolutions and maybe the fact that we don't really need to be making them after the intro. I'll see you in a minute. Boom! Let's do this. Well, hello there. Today I am very, very shiny these days. Maybe my resolution should be not to be so shiny. But that's fine. I don't know if you guys saw, but my sister found. Okay, these are in Scotland. They're pronounced healing coos. My friend gave me this, but Erin, my sister, got me a healing coo like blow up thing for Christmas, and it's amazing. I shared a picture of it, but I'll share it later. So tonight I'm talking about New Year's resolutions and why we don't have to have them. And I don't have a scroll for it. I mean, I could probably add it on here, but you guys will know what I'm talking about. So like, why do we feel such pressure to do it? It's something that we like every year I think about, and I've talked about this before on Candor with Katie, and like, what's your resolution or what's your word or that kind of thing. And it's kind of interesting because this year I thought, and I know I'm not original in this thought, but I was thinking, why have a New Year's resolution? I put a post up about New Year, New Me. Nope. New Year, New Hope. And to me, that's the best thing to look forward to. So we're going to talk about that because I think, okay, let me just go through some of these. I did kind of at the last minute put some stuff together. Science suggests that most people who set resolutions each year don't stick with them. So think about your resolutions in the past. Have you stuck with all of them? Okay. The problem is that we often set unrealistic goals. And so thinking we can suddenly completely overhaul our eating habits on January 1st when we ate whatever we wanted up until the day before is probably a goal that's going to fail. Okay. So that's the thing. It's like I don't know how it started. I mean, the whole idea of a fresh start is not a bad idea. It's just that we don't have to start it on January 1st, and we don't have to start it all or nothing, because that tends to lead to failure, A, and then B, if it's not going well, if you're failing at it, it's going to tend to make you feel less accomplished or motivated or whatever, because there's so much unneeded pressure with it. So I'm very happy that last year I decided before I went to Norway that I was going to do the strong woman competition, like literally on like 3 weeks of lifting. That's it. I mean, I have lifted in my life. Okay. I mean, I'm a lifelong athlete, but I hadn't lifted like that in a long time. And I haven't really lifted like that. Oh, Holly, how many glasses do you own? I know, I have a lot of colors. My New Year's resolution is to read more. Now, that's a good resolution, I think. And that's a very simple one, too. So, Holly, thank you for, Mom, thanks for answering, because she's saying read more. She's not saying read a book a week or read a book a month or, whatever that is, because sometimes those goals become too overwhelming and we can't finish them. So, read more. That's a logical, realistic goal. Good job. Okay. I kind of lost my train of thought what I was talking about before, but sometimes we set goals because it's like, oh, this is something I should do because somebody else is doing it. Sometimes now there's good and bad, because I'll talk about this later, where you have like maybe an accountability partner or something. But like if there's something going on in the office or at your work or whatever it is, and they're like, oh, we're gonna do this lose the weight challenge, yada yada, and you feel like you have to go in on it. Is that really your goal? Just don't do it if you don't want to. It's okay, because the people that are really going to care about you not doing it don't matter. That's one of the things, and I didn't put it in here. That's one of the things that I'm really going to work on as a goal, as a resolution, whatever you want to call it, as a non-resolution, is that I'm getting rid of the people that are causing me stress, that are doing those unnecessary things, like giving me judgment about something they don't need to give me judgment about. Okay. All right. Sometimes we set impossible goals. We think too big. Okay. Also, okay, so this would be, I'm going to lose 30 pounds in 1 month. Could you do it? Sure. Goal or whatever you want, like starting too big and too fast is not going to get you there. So just as Holly, thank you for commenting, put on there, I want to read more, instead of specifically saying I want to read 1.7 books a month, you're more likely to succeed. So if you say, now think about the big picture. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds, let's say? Okay, so maybe you have a goal. There's a wedding in June and it's December. Well, that's a good goal. But maybe it's March and the wedding is in August. Well, that's a good goal too. You don't have to wait until the new year to set these goals. So Twyla Butler says, we do think too big. We always do. Exactly, right? Go big or go home. There's a phrase, there's t-shirts, there's a lot of stuff about that on there. I tend to think too big. I think to be like, I'm going to do this and you're not going to tell me no. And I need to settle down and I need to like acknowledge that it's okay. And I need you guys to know that it's okay, because you don't have to go balls to the wall, all or nothing. Okay. We feel societal pressure. Everybody else is doing it, so I got to do it too. And I think I talked about that. Like, so that could be the office thing too. So the one thing I think with the societal pressure that we have to do is, okay, here's a good goal. Here's a good goal, a resolution or whatever. I'm going to do things for me. I'm going to do things because I want to do them. And I'm not going to care what anybody else thinks about it, because it doesn't matter if you are bettering yourself, if it's minute step at a time, or you want to take longitudinal jumps, that's your decision. A, you're going to be more accomplished. You're probably more likely going to accomplish it if you take smaller steps. But B, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. If you want to do it, do it. So like whatever I say, if you're like, no, I have to set these big goals and I have to do all or nothing. Cool. I'm here for you and I will support you. I get it. I'm just trying to put these in a perspective where maybe many of us, including me, can attain these goals, you know? Okay. Annie Delsman, hi. Screw weight loss. I want health. I want to be in good enough shape to take surf lessons in June for my birthday and get up on the board. That is an amazing goal, Annie. Amazing goal. Perfect goal. Too often we worry about the scale anyway. I don't like getting on the scale. I want to feel good. I want to feel good in what I'm wearing. I want to, here's the thing. Let's just say, I'm going to eat keto for this year. But maybe I want a slice of pizza. I want to be able to eat that slice of pizza. So like, let's just say if this was my goal, I would switch my goal to, I'm going to eat keto 80% of the time. Okay. Or 5 out of the 7 days of the week. And I know, and I'm just using this as an example. So the keto peeps don't come at me like, oh, you can't do that. You can't cheat. It's called dirty keto or whatever, but at least you're doing something. So like, maybe you want to become a vegetarian, but you're only going to do it 80% of the time because you can't give it up all at once. Like set attainable goals that are going to help you not only feel more successful, but actually be successful, if that makes sense. So I think I put that, if your goal is to go to the gym 3 times a week, but we hate going to the gym, we're not going to meet our goal. Okay. So that's the thing you want it. So like, as Annie said on here, shoot, hang on, I go back to it. She said, screw weight loss. I want health. I want to be in good enough shape to take surf lessons. So instead of saying, I want to go to the gym 3 times a week, which is actually a good goal. I do that, but make the goal, I'm going to the gym 3 times a week in order to build muscle. I'm going to add a protein shake a week, like, so I can get up early enough or whatever it is. Okay. But don't make it just like that weight loss thing. Okay. So Twilight says, I want weight loss. That does give the end goal of good health. Okay, so that makes sense. I don't care about being skinny. I just want to feel good and comfortable. Yes, I was so obsessed with keto. I missed out on so much. After my birthday tomorrow, I'm starting dirty keto, which I just talked about. I want to enjoy life and not constantly worry about food. And that's such a good point, Twilight, because so no, and I have a lot of people. So like I'll say, oh, I'm going to do keto, or like I'm looking into the carnivore diet because I still have food issues and stuff sometimes. And I'm like, I don't want to do that stuff. I do not want to do it. Like, so that's the thing. Don't set a goal that you don't want to do. Like if I said, all right, I'm going to eat the carnivore diet for 3 months, see if I can reset my allergies. Do you remember when I did the Kabbalah thing, that juice diet thing? It was fucking terrible. It was like 14 days. I drank broth one time. It was awful. That's not a goal I wanted to do. Did I want to reset my body and work on my allergies? Yes. Was that the way to do it? No. So I think what we have to do, just like Twyla says, dirty keto. So that just means basically every once in a while you do eat the stuff. And keto is not a sustainable diet unless you really do have diabetes or something. Because I know 3 people who have cured themselves of diabetes with keto. But I'm not a doctor and I don't truly know, but I think those are the only people that actually can truly do keto for the rest of their lives, So Annie says, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, that's you, Twyla. Happy birthday. Yes, Twyla, happy birthday. She says, thank you, Annie Dozeman. Exactly. See, I know good peeps. Okay, so hopefully I'm going on the right path here. So here's the thing. If you're going to make a change, pick the time that's right for you, okay? Doesn't have to be January 1st. So like I said, I decided that I was going to do the Strong Woman, but I didn't start working out until, end of May, and I had to be there. When was it last year? June? I don't know it was 3 weeks. It wasn't enough. So I picked a new goal. I want to do my first real Strong Woman competition. It's going to be in March. It's going to be the weekend after the games here. And I've started to work toward that, but we didn't even work on that until after the World Championships and the Highland Games this year, which one of my goals is also to keep my World Championship status. Now, if I lose it, I'm not going to jump off a cliff, but I'm working on attainable goals and not doing things too fast, too much, if that makes sense. So pick the time that's right for you. So, I've already talked about that. So we're all good. Okay. So the pain of not changing has to be greater than the pain of changing for us to really change. So this is Terry Bly, a licensed clinical psychologist, which makes sense. The pain of not changing has to be greater than the pain of changing. So a lot of people who have diabetes or pre-diabetic or whatever, if they don't change, they're going to have diabetes. That's got to be greater than the pain of not changing at all. All right, so Twyla says, I love reading about your competitions. You're a badass. Okay, Twyla, I love you. I love you. I paid her to put that on there, guys. Well, that's the thing. So I'm old. I'm not going to talk about how old I am. Some of you guys know how old I am. I'm old. I'm a master's athlete. I'm well into the master's athlete. But you know what? I will not let age define me. I will not. That's an attainable goal. And I'm going to have more people on here. We're going to talk about some other things that I do that keep me in prime optimal health, joint wise and things like that. Yes, I could lose a little weight. I want to lose weight. So Twyla, I'm with you. I'll probably do a dirty keto type thing. Eat better. Just not be a crazy person. Okay. Actually, having my parents here is good because I don't have sips as much. Okay. Now let's see. Where am I at here? Okay. If we know the reason we're making a particular resolution, we may find there are other routes to achieving it that will be more enjoyable and satisfying for us. So, okay, so say you want to lose weight, or like Annie, I want to be healthy so that I can get on a surfboard. Maybe you want to paddleboard. Maybe you want to go snow skiing next winter, or something. Find something. Like another route could be like, okay, so if you want to be. Okay, so if you prefer exercising outside when it's warmer out, for example, plan to start that new running routine in the spring. So that goes along with starting when it's the right time and then starting when it's right for you and when you feel the best. Okay. So Annie says, bravo, got to go to a meeting. Ha ha ha. I'll catch the replay. Okay, Annie, that's amazing. And I will comment on the replay. So plan to start that in the spring. So your New Year's resolution could be something like, okay, I want to do this by then, but I love being out when it's nice out. Pretty much our throwing season is all year here. But sometimes it's 45 degrees in the morning or something. So I don't want to throw. So I'll start throwing at the end of, January or something. Maybe pledge to run twice a week instead of becoming a runner, for example. So that's the other thing was not only the time frame, but if you're like, okay, your ultimate goal can be a marathon. It absolutely can. But maybe you just run for health and to feel better or whatever. And so you just start with twice a week because you can do that. It doesn't have to be Tuesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, or Wednesday, Friday, or whatever. It could be a Tuesday and a Saturday. Just decide how many. Okay, I saw this new thing, by the way. This just has to do with walking or running or whatever. And it has something to do with like Walk Dublin or whatever. And I'm like, I could do it with anything. I could say like, hey, I'm going to walk Norway. I'm going to walk Iceland. I could just figure out the miles and then I could just walk this amount every day until I get there. So I could say I'm going to walk this, but I'm not going to say I have to walk 10 miles by this time. So instead of saying I'm going to run a marathon, which I guess is good. I mean, it is good. It's good to have those goals. But I think if you've never been a runner, start simply. Okay. Holly says, really? Old? You don't know what old is. Neither do I. Don't let the old man women. I love it. No, I think she means no. That's funny. And then Twyla, I think you might have an emoji or something on there. Those don't show up on here. So bummer. Okay, so here's the thing. You can also set yourself up for success by changing your surroundings to encourage healthy behavior. So maybe you buy more veggies, you charge your phone out of reach, that kind of thing. Maybe you're a person who doesn't get up early enough. So put your phone out of reach, charge it there. You got to get up to turn it off kind of thing. Okay. Surround yourself with supporters. You can just tell people, or you can have an accountability partner. And some of those might be the office people I talked about before. It might be a big group that you're doing stuff with, and if you don't want to tell anyone, that's okay too. Keep it in a journal, write it down, put it on a calendar, do something, but don't beat yourself up if you don't make it. Like just start small. Okay. Spot the saboteurs, recognize and prepare to stick with it. So for example, you don't need to defend or even explain your personal choices. So like this would be an example where I call every month November, dry January. I'm doing dry January. Well, that one kind of explains itself, but maybe you're just not going to drink for 3 months. And you're just like, I'm not drinking. And someone's like, really, why? Well, you don't have to explain why. You don't have to. It's okay. You can just say, I'm just not drinking for 3 months or whatever the heck it is, Oh, so I'm going with this. I'm not drinking tonight. You don't have to explain yourself. You're not responsible for removing others' discomfort. So if someone's like, come on, just do it. Like, why aren't you doing it? You don't have to explain yourself. I guess I already did that. I thought about this and then I talked about it beforehand. Worrying about what you can't change usually just increases your anxiety and makes you feel discouraged. So don't worry too much about what you're not going to do before you even try it, if that makes sense. Okay. And then remember this, behavior change is hard. So don't be discouraged if you don't reach 100% of your goal. 80% is still great. Think about baseball players. What's a good batting average? Like 400 plus is like amazing. And that's what, 40%? 300 something is really good. And that's 30% out of 100. So don't rely on motivation and willpower alone. Just realize that you can do this. And that, well, here's my final thoughts. When I say don't rely on motivation and willpower alone, I mean things like automated reminders, like phone alerts and alarms are good. And then also remember, you can put sticky notes up on your refrigerator, on your mirrors, things like that, something in your car. And then think about it this way. Learn as you go. Learn as you go. Okay. So like goals for me, like people in the real estate biz are always talking about time blocking. And I know I need to do it because my ADHD brain is like crazy. And I'm like, oh, I can't do it. And I start this and I start that. And I'm halfway doing this and I'm 3/4 of the way doing that. And I'm a quarter doing this and, whatever it is. And time blocking for me kind of stresses me out a little bit. I got to be honest with you. So like, just know that like whatever is out there for people is not the option for everyone. Right. So for instance, if I was going to get better at time blocking, because it's something I should be better at. Okay. I'm not really excited about it, but instead of saying I'm going to do 2 hours of this and 1 hour of this and 4 hours of this, whatever, I could just say, I will call 20 possible leads a day or 10 possibly, whatever it is that is an attainable goal for me. Okay. And that's a much better goal because I would much rather have a tally where I'm marking it off than from 8 to 9, I called these people. And from 1 to 4, I did this because that works for me. If that doesn't work for you, great. Figure out what works for you. Because if that works for you, more power to you. I'm jealous kind of. Okay. So anyway, the bottom line is, just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean you have to. Having an attainable goal doesn't mean that you have to do all or nothing. You don't have to follow the norm. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. It's okay. And you know what? Tell people or don't. But if it helps you, sometimes it does help. But sometimes I don't want to tell people. So if you want to tell me and I don't tell anybody else, I'm cool with that. And I will keep it for you. Okay. You know what Sid Squatch says. The journey begins with you. So be good to yourself. And Horgan loves you. So I will see you next week, my friends. Good night. Thanks for joining.